I want to play my Fender Rarities Flame Maple Top HSS Thinline Stratocaster. We're going to find out if this is any good. This video isn't like other videos out there, you know, where they talk for 7.5 minutes and only play the guitar for a minute, minute and a half. There's 18 minutes worth of playing in this video. There is some yammering, but mostly at the end. And as always, the signal chain is listed in the description down below. There's also chapter markers, so if you want to skip around, you can do that. But enough talking, let's get after it. So you can't do a review on YouTube these days without talking about the specs, right? So I'm going to try and quickly do that here for you, and then we'll get back to the sound samples. So you have a glossed satin urethane finish on top of a flamed one-piece maple top and a carved mahogany body. Obviously, it's a Thinline design, so it's hollow in certain spots. We have a modern deep C neck carve on this rosewood neck, rosewood fretboard. We obviously have the dot inlays. For those who get easily excited, there's also a Fender limited edition neck plate. On the front of the headstock, there is just the silk-screened Fender logo. On the rear, we have the non-locking sealed die-cast Fender tuners. They are also staggered, so we have a single string tree. We have a master volume that also has an S1 switch in it. So what that'll do is if you push it in, it'll turn it from humbucker to using the rear coil to give you a single coil type sound. Then we have the typical neck and middle tone, and then a bridge tone. We also have a 5-way blade switch. Pickup wise, we have a custom double tap humbucker, and for pickups we have the custom 69 middle and custom 69 neck. And finally, for our bridge, we have the 2-point tremolo system with the bent steel saddles. That's enough about the specs. Here's 5 more sound samples. And just as I say in all of the other review videos that I do, I have to do the next part to appease the internet. What I'm trying to do is prevent tears from forming themselves into comments. It is beneficial, so we're going to be playing this clean with all 7 pickup combinations. Found personally there's more of a benefit to hearing how the pickups work with a little bit of light gain, like mild drive. So here's that. Now, as we did talk about earlier here, we have a master volume and then a tone for the middle and the neck, and then a tone for the bridge. So let's go ahead and wiggle some knobs and hear what they sound like. You might also be curious about the S1 switch here and the pickup in general, whether there is a volume difference. There is a slight volume difference, so when you go ahead and click on this to bring it from humbucking to single coil, there is some volume loss. So let's go ahead and hear that. But what about going from the bridge to the neck pickup, humbucking to single coil? Is there a volume difference there? Let's go ahead and listen. So even though this is a Rarities series and it's the Thinline design, it is still based off of the American Professional 1. So I did want to do a quick comparison. I'll keep it in the single coil mode here. So I did want to do a quick comparison between both of these so you can hear the custom double tap and then the 69 custom shops against the VMod 1 pickups. You should be able to hear that there's a little bit of a difference. There's a little more treble on the VMods, I find, and a little more character as well in the VMods. So let's go ahead and listen to all 5 pickup positions there. Now, just to more than likely just amuse myself, I do own 2 of the Fender Rarities Strats, so you might be curious, you might not, but I did want to do a quick comparison between both of them. This is the Quilt Maple Top Stratocaster, so it's quilted maple top on top of alder body. It's not an American Professional 1, it's based off the American Original 60s. However, it doesn't have a gloss nitro finish, it's still gloss polyurethane finish. The pickups that are in here are the pure vintage 65 gray bottom pickups. So here's the 5 pickup positions, and we're going to still keep this in single coil. finally, what might be the most obvious choice for a quick comparison would be the Thinline HSS Strat against the Gibson ES335. Now there's a little bit of difference here. This has a mahogany neck, this has a rosewood neck. Mahogany body with a maple top. This is a maple body. So there's definitely, I mean, not everything matches. Rosewood fretboard though, hey. But let's go ahead and we'll just do, keep this in humbucking mode, and we'll do the bridge, the middle, and then the neck position. So you can kind of hear what a humbucker Thinline sounds against a Gibson ES335. So that's it for all of the different sound samples and all the different comparisons. It's 18 minutes worth of playing, so you should have had ample time to actually hear how this actually sounds. So it is at this point where I do want to talk about whether or not I think this is a good guitar. And it is a good guitar. It is, usually I say fantastic, but it's a good guitar. It's a very good guitar, but it is one of those guitars that, I don't know, I find I have to be in the mood to play. It's not like your typical Strat feel-wise. You're definitely going to feel the thin line, the semi-hollowness of this body in comparison to a regular Stratocaster. It has a lot more sort of hollow low end. So it's got a different type of resonance. It makes the strings feel a little snappier. Especially acoustically, sort of like how the ES335 feels in comparison to like a Les Paul or what have you. You feel a little bit more snap in the strings, and that doesn't always translate over to the sound itself. So if you're one of those guys that loves to say that playing a Fender Thinline is just like taking the best parts out of that Fender model and then just giving it to people, I can understand where you're coming from. It doesn't have that total presence feel like you would on a typical Stratocaster, but it is still a great player. And I find when you're playing leads on this, it is rather inspiring because of the feel of the snap on the strings that you get. When I was playing what I think is still a little, the drums are way too loud in that, and I tried to offset that for some stupid reason in the mixing stage to boost the signal of the guitar. I was tired, I'm sorry. But playing, when I was coming up with the harmony parts, I really enjoyed that. I tried to change things up as well to get a little more feel in the strings when I was doing it. So that's why like it was like nice notes and then for the harmony, if that makes sense to you. Just because it's addicting playing leads on this. That doesn't mean that playing rhythm on this is not enjoyable. It's definitely a joy. It's very different from playing on a non-hollowed out Stratocaster. There's a lot more presence in the feel. When you're hitting this, like if you're hitting a low E, it feels like it's a completely different instrument to a Stratocaster, feel-wise, when you're striking that low E. It's something that you It doesn't stop you from playing it, but it definitely means that there's times that this will work for you and times that it won't. And as far as the pickups, apparently I don't really enjoy the Custom Shop 69 pickups because I find that there's not a lot of character in them. Now, I'm sorry if that is, not what you think, or, if you own a Strat that has those pickups in it, doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just, I don't know, when you're hearing the different comparisons between this and the V mod, it just seems like there's more character in the V mods. And then the Pure Vintage 65, there's way more character. So when you're going from position to position to position to position, especially against the Pure Vintage 65s, you hear all of the different nuances in the pickups in the 65s, whereas these are just, they're solid pickups. They're not, there's nothing that really stands out for them. So when I think of this guitar, I think of it as basically a humbucker with other pickups in it. That might be wrong of me, but it just seems like there's better options out there for pickup sounds. But that's enough of making it seem like I'm bashing my guitar here. I love it. I do have it hung up on the wall where I can see it from my studio desk at all times, just because it's a fantastic looker. And when I do grab it off the wall and play it, I'm very happy when I'm doing it. It's just if I'm playing leads, sometimes, or if I'm playing rhythm, sometimes I'll think, maybe I'll grab a different Strat and then we'll kind of match them together in a recording. Thanks for watching.